Hey everybody, I'm Sean, and this is Mechwarrior for Mercenaries, an older game that I have enjoyed playing for years, which has actually been available for free online for the past, I believe, 2 years. So it's actually a really great game. In areas, it does have a few problems, but I've always enjoyed playing it, so I thought that we could, do a playthrough of it, and maybe if you like what you see, you can go get it. Again, it's free, so if you're going to have any fun with it, it's a good download. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go into our roster. Now we need to create a new pilot so that we can start at the beginning. You can see here that I have actually 3 older accounts here. These are actually not my original accounts. These are just on this computer. I've played this game for years. In fact, I believe it was released would have been 10 years ago, maybe 9. So it's gotten a lot of play from me. So we'll go ahead and make a new one. Now, when you make a new roster, you have a choice. You can join one of 4 factions. Now, to explain these factions, let's explain a little bit of the history of Mechwarrior. Well, Mechwarrior. If you haven't played any of the games or read any of the books, there are 2 major factions split into a lot of smaller factions. But the 2 big ones are the Inner Sphere and the clans. Now, hundreds of years in the past in this game, there was what was called the Star League, one giant empire that had a very strong army. Well, the Star League disintegrated, fell apart, and the army of the Star League, a good amount of it, followed their general out of all of known space to settle a new area. They were so disgusted with the infighting and all that stuff, they left. Meanwhile, back in known space, all of the humans in the Star League split up, got in wars, and started using atomic weapons on each other, which, as you can imagine, set them back a little bit. So the technological development in the Inner Sphere, which is what that is called, actually went backwards. They lost a lot of technology. Now the clans didn't. They lost some, but they maintained most of what they had left with. And therefore, when the clans came back to conquer the Inner Sphere, which they are wont to do, they had a technological advantage. They had better equipment. So clan stuff is going to be better in this game, while Inner Sphere equipment is going to be cheaper and a little bit worse. So we can go ahead and take a look at these 4 factions here. We have the Kellhounds, the Grey Death Legion, the Northwind Highlanders, and the Wolves Dragoons. So let's go ahead and read about the Kellhounds. They are outside the rules. The Kellhounds are a top-rated mercenary unit that has grown to the size of a small but formidable military nation unto itself. Once staunch supporters of the Lyran Alliance throne, the Hounds have begun moving against the current Archon, Katrina Steiner. Commanders sponsored by the Kellhounds can expect better than average starting equipment and early access to clan technology. So again, clan technology is better, so we get better mechs, better weapons, all that fun stuff. Also we have the Grey Death Legion. Strength through unity. A regiment of great renown, the Grey Death Legion is undergoing substantial rebuilding following its recent decimation on Hesperus II. Alexander Carlisle, heir to the Legion's founder, has authorized Daniel Brewster to head the rebuilding. Commanders sponsored by the Grey Death Legion can expect more than average starting money and early access to powerful Lost Tech weapons. Lost Tech is technology from the Star League era. They had ammo dumps and all that fun stuff, and it's better than the current technology. If you've actually played 40K, it's like the Imperium in Microcosm. So not quite as bad, not quite as long, and it's not nearly as grimdark. But yeah, they lost a lot of their technology. So, Northwind Highlanders, Warriors Born. This unit's illustrious history dates back to early Terra, a mercenary unit founded on the precepts of steadfast loyalty and honor. The Highlanders enjoy a sterling reputation throughout the Inner Sphere. Commanders sponsored by the Highlanders can expect a higher rate of pay than average for all missions they complete. Pretty simple. People like you, so they pay you better. Always a good one to pick. More money means better equipment because you can afford it. Also, we have the Wolves Dragoons, running with the pack. Considered the definitive mercenary unit of the Inner Sphere, the Dragoons have origins in clan space. Since their arrival in 3005, they have time and again proven themselves both deadly efficient and reliable. Commanders sponsored by the Wolves Dragoons can expect to start with clan-level technology and have greater access to purchasing additional clan tech. Makes sense. They're actually from the clans. They came from Clan Wolf, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But of these three, you can actually see that I've done Wolf's Dragoons, Kellhounds, and Northwind Highlanders recently. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick the Grey Death Legion. I actually haven't used Lost Tech before, so it'll be pretty fun. So now we have to come up with a name. To be honest, the name that we pick doesn't really matter because you're always referred to as Spectre in this game. They were lazy and needed something to call you during cutscenes. So this can just be, whatever you want it to be. Obviously, it's got to be manly and tough. We're the leader of a mercenary company. We're Dirk Squarejaw. That's right, Squarejaw. Yeah, that's a man. And this is Dirk's dangerous dozen, even though we're not a dozen. Dangerous third of a dozen, because there's only 4? No, dozen. And difficulty. Now, again, I have played this game a good amount, so regular obviously is not going to work. Veteran, I think I played on that on my other two. So, whole hog, let's do elite. I'll probably get my ass spanked, but we all know that watching me die is the most fun of this. So now that we have created Dirk Squarejaw, leader of the Dirk's Dangerous Dozen, we'll go ahead and start. So now we can go to campaign. I must warn you, the sound glitches out when you pick campaign, so it's going to ratchet up and I'll have to actually exit.
Welcome to the command center.
As you can see, the music got louder, so let's go to options, audio. There we are. That should be more comfortable. Okay, back into the campaign.
Welcome to the command center, Commander. The first step in securing a contract is the Star System Overview. From there, you can view contracts available in each system. Once you travel to a star system, you can click on the Orbital View button to see more details about the contracts available. The free market allows you to buy or sell mechs and armaments and hire new lancemates. The Mech Lab allows you to modify the loadouts of your mechs.
Well, thank you, helpful woman's voice, who we will meet later. So let's see what we got. In the news, to Dirk Squarejaw, commanders of Dirk's Dangerous Dozen. Date, 1st of January, 3066. The Mercenary Review and Bonding Commission wants to be the first to wish you well in your future endeavors. You have passed all of the trial sponsorship program's qualifying exams and tests. We are pleased to let you know that you have placed first. Oh, well, my. Very nicely done. You are the cream of the crop, and we expect great things from you. The Grey Death Legion has formally recognized you as provisional members, and we are eager to have you aboard. As you start what we are sure will be a promising career, know that you are being given a precious opportunity. Our fledgling program will depend heavily on your actions and how you handle yourself in the coming months. Not only are you representing your unit, but you hold with you the hopes of future mercenary commanders who want a chance at becoming something great. We have complete faith in you. Go out and make us and the Grey Death Legion proud. Wow. What a nice letter. What a nice way to start a campaign. Anyways, let's go to that star system she talked about. Let's see what we have. So this right here is the Inner Sphere. I can explain this map a little bit. These are actually the borders of nations in the Inner Sphere. You'll notice that the map isn't labeled, so I can't remember what they are. But yeah, these are actually nations of the Inner Sphere. And then these right here are sections of the clans, actually. All this fun stuff over here. And yeah, this is where the clans are invading. And then right in here is a world called like Tukiyid. And that was where the clans were stopped as they tried to make their way to Terra, which is in the center of the Inner Sphere. But yes, that's just some background. So we have Halloran 5 and Eaton. Let's see. Halloran has seen its local militia plagued by fierce infighting as battalion and regimental commands take sides over the FedCom civil war. So this must be the FedCom. The fighting has taken a terrible toll on local resources. Militia forces are imposing martial law and seizing supplies from local industrial complexes. The Halran mining and excavation cartel has had enough of this semi-official banditry. Ah, so we're defending a industrial thing from bandits that wear uniforms and pilot mechs. Anyways, Eaton, located in the volatile Isle of Skye region, is caught up in the Skye separatist movement. Regular military and militia units are in open conflict over the issue. The Skye separatists are attempting to secede the entire Isle of Skye from the Lyran Alliance. Oh, okay. Well, this is the Lyran Alliance, so I do remember that. The planetary governor is pro-separatist and seeks mercenaries to augment his forces against Lyran loyalist holdouts. So now we actually have to make a decision. Are we going to support Davian or Steiner in this Civil War-ish thing that's going on? But we actually don't know too much about them. So let's go ahead and go to Halloran. And this will pop up all the missions over here, but it's not that big. It'll show you pay and all that fun stuff. But jumping does require a cost. So 125,000 C-bills. Now my balance is 8 million, so I can pay that 64 times. I think I'll be okay. Weeks required for the jump, 1 week. Dropship planet. Okay, what do we got? Ooh, new news. What's this? What's this loss? Okay. Steiner declares war on New Syrtis in a move that follows years of fence straddling by Duke George Michael Hassick, Field Marshal of the Kaplan March. Archon Princess Katerina Steiner has deployed a large task force against the planet of New Syrtis to ensure the loyalty of Duke Hassick and his subjects. Wasting no time and mincing no words, the Duke has now firmly stated his anti-Archon position, and even now his forces are engaging the task force in open conflict. Steiner seems to be attempting to frighten other field marshals as much as to bring Hassick back into line. So yeah, this is how we're going to get most of the story of the missions, what's happening in the background, by the way. So, I mean, of course we'll get missions pertaining to us that we play, but if we want to understand the larger conflict that we're taking part in, we should be reading these. Okay. So we have offshore and checkpoint. Well, let's do offshore.
Our main opposition in this
I
engagement
don't really need to worry about that. We're fighting bandits. Okay, so here is the mech lab. You'll notice that as soon as we pull it up, we get our first mech, which is a flea. It is 20 tons of ferocity and badassitude that is currently pink. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's see what we have here. Lots of different colors. Colors. Skyline. What does... Oh. Well, that's gray and bluish. It doesn't really look like a skyline, but yeah, sure, we'll take it. Okay, so now that we've changed the color to something more manly, we'll save. Components. ECM. Electronic countermeasures. You could read it, and in fact I'll hover my mouse over it while I explain it if you want the exact numbers, but essentially it decreases their ability to see you, enemies, and also to lock onto your mech with missiles. So, useful to keep you alive. For a scouting mech, which is what the flea is supposed to be, it's actually quite good. However, we're not going to use our flea to scout. We're here to fight. So, well, down here, oh, also the lambs. Lambs shoots down enemy missiles as they come flying towards you. Below that, we have heat sinks and our top speed. Now, right now, these are both just basic. This is in kilometers per hour. The lighter the mech, the faster the mech. Intuitively, that makes sense. Heat sinks are useful for dispersing energy. You can see up here that our heat efficiency is currently 100. So we won't be needing any more heat sinks at this time. So let's go ahead and see what we are equipped with. We have a small laser, which is a weak weapon. So on the bottom of the screen you can see the stats. They'll pop up down here. So the small laser is range 150 meters, damage 1.75, heat is 1, and recycle time is 2. So damage doesn't actually have a unit, really. Heat is in, I think, 100 degrees Fahrenheit or Kelvin. Yeah, anyways, it generates 100 degrees of heat every time that it fires, and then recycle time is in seconds. So it's a pretty quick firing weapon. It's also really weak, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. Now we have our machine gun, which is range 400, so much longer range, but damage is 0.38. Yeah, it doesn't generate any heat because it's a ballistic weapon. Recycling time is 0.3 seconds, so it fires very quickly, but really it does no damage. So let's go ahead and get rid of both of those. Oop, didn't grab it. There we go. And then a flamer, range 150, damage 1, heat 4, and recycle time 4. It causes them to lose heat, which can actually shut them down, but I mean, it's pretty useful in multiplayer, but the computer rarely overheats unless they're running a really hot mech already. So we'll go ahead and get rid of all those. So you'll notice that up here I have 8 available tons that I can fill with weapons. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have missiles, which we can't equip, because you'll notice that any missile weapon is colored green. Well, we don't have any green slots. And the weapon colors are yellow for ballistic weapons, green for missile weapons, and red for energy weapons. Now, the hardpoints correspond. You'll notice that there are no blue ones. Well, that's direct fire, which means only beam or ballistic type can be mounted there. So it sounds like we really need either something that packs a good punch, which the AC-5 is pretty good, but it would also take all of our tonnage, and it has ammo problems. And up here, the medium X-pulse lasers, yeah, we could run those, and they actually do a good amount of damage, but they also generate a lot of heat, and they also weigh 2.5 tons, so that would take up quite a bit too. But let's go ahead and go to the free market. We'll save those changes. Here we can fire personnel that we already have. We have Rufus, Shredder, and Hannibal. Hire new personnel, or chassis, and weapons. So let's go ahead and look at our crew members, or not crew members, but our followers first. You'll notice that in the bottom left they also have stats: gunnery, piloting, sensors, and blind fighting. Now Hannibal and Shredder, they start out actually pretty good. Hannibal's a really good shot, pretty good at piloting and using his sensors. Shredder is less across all three of them, but he does pretty well. Rufus, well, Rufus is pretty worthless. He's lower in every section than our other pilots. So let's go ahead and axe him out of here. Now we can actually hire him back on, which is funny to me, but yeah, anyways. Now you'll notice there are wide varieties of range. So like if we look at Scooter, well, he's even more worthless than Rufus, I think. Oh, nope, never mind, he has 2 points on him in piloting. But if we look at Scrapper, you'll notice that his gunnery is amazing, 95. He actually doesn't miss that much, which is great if we give him, you know, a long-range mech. We also have Blackjack, who is really expensive for his cost, but you'll notice that next to his name in the bottom it says Lance Commander, which means later in the game, when we have a second Lance, we can put him in command. Now, that's what makes him so expensive. Let's see, we have Goat, who is a Lance Commander. She's better. Beowulf. Now, Beowulf is actually a crew member that I use quite a bit. He has good gunnery, good piloting, good sensors. His blind fighting isn't all that good, but really, he's quite good. So we'll go ahead and hire him. Added him to the team. Oh, we were also looking at weapons. Now, these are all the weapons that we have. Let's go ahead and get rid of those small lasers that we just stripped off, as well as those machine gun arrays. Don't really want to keep either one of those, so we'll just sell those. And let's look at our weapons here. Now, we know that we don't want missiles, so let's go ahead and look at beam weapons. Again, all the stats are going to come up, and what we want to pay attention to is tonnage. Now, medium lasers are actually quite light, which is great. They do generate a good amount of heat, though, 1.75. But I think we'll actually be able to handle that. If we buy 6 medium lasers, which was actually less than 1 million, come out here, go to weapons. Oh, I suppose I could only actually mount 4. Don't know what I was thinking. So we'll go ahead and mount all 4 of these lasers. And then we can put the rest of it into heat sinks. And what that will do is it will allow us to fire those lasers as soon as they are off cooldown. So we'll go ahead and make it so I have a few fire groups here. Have some control. So yeah, that's our fleet. Now, we need to rename our fleet because Fleet 1 is kind of boring. So let's see, what kind of a name could we give this guy? Well, he shoots a lot of lasers. So... light show. He's a light show. Okay, so that's one mech. Now, I'm going to go ahead and quickly move through just changing the color and whatnot. Okay, I want Skyline. What was that? Urban. Oh. That's not what I want. Urban. Skyline. Okay. Jump jets allow the mech to jump, which is good. It's pretty good. And in fact, if I remember correctly, I actually like the Hellspawn exactly how it is. So we'll just name this one Stock. Stock Hellhound. So we'll go ahead and save that. Plot in the Osiris. Now, the Osiris I'm actually not a huge fan of because it, as well, also has a machine gun. So let's go ahead and do that. Strip off the jump jets. Don't really want that for an Osiris. Get ourselves on Skyline here so it fits in with the rest of the Lance. Yeah, that looks okay to me so far. Now, Advanced Gyro. It allows your mech to have a better sense of balance and not get knocked over. The problem with this mech is if it gets knocked over, it's dead. It doesn't really need balance. So we won't put it on there. But let's go ahead and look at the weapons here. That's an SRM-6. Well, it's not the most shots we can get out of a short-range weapon. So let's go ahead and throw an SRM-20 on there. And this, in fact, has a lock-on, so it can track, which is awesome. So we'll go ahead and max out our armor there. Looks like I have 0.3 tonnage left, but there's really nothing you can do for that. So let's rename this as, well, it's an Infighter actually. Short-range lasers, short-range missiles. Let's see what else we have. No, Owens. Never really actually been a huge fan of the Owens. But we'll just save that. Rename it a Stock. Okay, so now that we have 4 mechs, we can actually get our... well, yeah, I'll take the Osiris. We can get our Lance fit out. So we'll give Beowulf the Flea, we'll get the Hellspawn, and you will get the Owens. Okay, so now let's go into the mission. In this mission, we're going to have to defend a shoreline from some marauders. Now, I'll do my best to explain... oh.
Just straight ahead to the south. A total of 4 large offshore platforms are at nav points Alpha and Beta. The residential and depot buildings are centered around nav points Gamma and Delta.
Spectre 1, this is Deneb Control. Looks like you got here just in time. We show multiple inbound vectors in the water running coded signals on the military band. Over.
Roger, Deneb. Heading to Alpha for visual confirmation.
Alpha Doc confirms militia watercraft escorting barge. Looks like they came to do a little shopping.
I'm sure they won't mind if we check their credentials.
That is really loud dialogue. I wonder... oh, can't change audio. Shoot, too much dialogue in this mission.
Moving to engage.
Line them up, and I'll knock them down.
Can it? Take these guys out and minimize damage to the docks.
Roger. Roger, Spectre. Roger, Spectre. Copy.
So, now we're actually in the game. This is our mech. We can either twist the torso, or we can actually turn the mech itself. Now, you can use the number pad to control.
Enemy detected.
And let's go ahead and...
Enemy detected. Enemy detected.
Switch back into our interior mode.
This is the Deneb Control. Militia units have opened fire on the platforms. Take them out quick.
Roger, we're on it. Spectre out.
Those damn militia units. They'll regret that decision.
Target destroyed.
Ah, yes. Dream. And... now, this is
Target
my favorite
destroyed.
part of medium lasers, is that they
Nav point
recharge
Alpha
so quickly.
reached.
Think you can get away?
Target destroyed.
Oh, missed.
Target
Alpha looks clear of hostiles.
Nicely.
Status report.
A second set of signals coming in from the east. Wait
Kill
one.
that barge.
Data confirms another barge and some hovercraft. Barge is withdrawing. Condors and harasses are coming in fast and hard.
Making best speed to Beta. Close up and form on me.
Roger. Roger, Spectre. Roger.
You use the function keys to control your squad. Really, the game's controls are actually pretty well set up to be intuitive. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but after you do, you can actually have a lot of fun. So let's find these
Enemy
damn dirty
detected.
pirates.
Enemy detected. Enemy detected.
Hovercraft, moving up fast.
Engaging hovercraft. They're moving on to the base.
Nav point
That
beta
just won't do. No,
reached.
sir. You have to cut them off. You'll notice in the middle of my screen at the bottom is my radar. I can use that to figure out where enemies are. I can also change the sensor range of it, so if I need more fidelity, I can make it zoom in. And, there you are.
Watch out for the fuel tank, Spectre 1. That whole area is a powder keg waiting for a spark. Wait for a clear shot.
Target destroyed.
Damn dirty pirates got what they deserved! Now then.
Target
Spectre 1,
destroyed.
be advised. SATCOM shows the destroyer Reynolds moving in from the task force.
Target
The
destroyed.
carrier is launching nightshades in support. ETA, 1 minute to your location.
Hovercraft
destroyed.
neutralized.
This is Deneb Control. Turret grid is at 80% efficiency. We can't handle the destroyer unsupported. Move your lance to
Enemy
intercept,
detected.
Commander.
Okay, Spectre Lance. Now we
Enemy
earn that
detected.
check.
I'll give it my best, sir. Air contact confirmed.
Enemy detected.
Never was good at skeet shooting.
Enemy detected. Target destroyed.
Aha! I got that one! Victory!
Target destroyed.
Ah! It's a good thing they all came in. Oh, I think I
Target
just got hit by
destroyed.
that shade. Anyways, it's a good thing for me that they all came in from the exact same vector.
Enemy
Ah,
detected.
there's the destroyer Reynolds. Now, I must apologize for the game.
Get in close to the destroyer and their turrets
Its
will have a hard
physics
time
engine
tracking us.
Did not age well. You'll see what I mean. Nothing too weird yet. Okay, that looks like a battleship. Now we shoot it. Run around it. You know, it's a battleship. Woo! Actually, it may not turn. Is it not? Oh, yep, there you go. Yeah, so that's how fast a battleship can turn in this game. Little did you know that they were one of the most maneuverable vehicles ever. Yeah, right? Yeah, here, I'll stop moving so.
Black
Leg
6,
damage.
say again.
Disabled.
Black 6,
That's
all
what I
units,
get.
Spectre is non-responsive. Can anyone confirm status?
That was an angry battleship. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, that's a mission failed. We were just about done anyways, though. So I'll go ahead and call that this for the episode, and I'll just beat that one in between ones because yeah, the destroyer is the last enemy you fight. And it was just about dead. I just decided to, stop moving, and then it was like, oh, silly you. So yeah, we'll go ahead and leave that there for right now, but hopefully you've liked this quick look into Mechwarrior 4 Mercenaries, and I'm excited to see you next episode.